Welcome into another edition of the Waynesburg Way. The Waynesburg Way, where we highlight 3 athletes from around campus. This week's episode will include wrestler Matt Claxton, men's basketball player Jake Doherty, and women's basketball player Andrea Orlowski. Stay tuned here on WCTV as we break down the lives of these 3 athletes.
Shoot it!
Welcome back to the Waynesburg Way. It's now time to look at senior wrestler Matt Claxton. Sam Hickson has the story.
When it comes to triumphs and trials, the Waynesburg University wrestling team has experienced a lot more triumphs than trials. They just secured their 3rd consecutive President's Athletics Conference championship, as well as sent numerous wrestlers to regionals and nationals. What you don't always see is that most triumphs come off the mat rather than on it. And for senior Matthew Claxton, that is exactly the case when he thought, am I wrestling my last match in my junior season? Fortunately, he'll square up one last time at the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse this Wednesday when Waynesburg takes on West Liberty. And it will be Claxton's final match as a senior on this team.
Matthew Claxton wasn't exactly sure he was going to have a senior season when he tore his meniscus during his junior season.
Well, they first thought it was going to be a bucket handle tear, which is like one of more severe tears in meniscuses, but it ended up just being like a regular tear, so they just went in through 3 parts of my knee and snipped like 3/4 of my meniscus out.
Of course, when you have an injury like Claxton's, it's going to require gaining some strength back in your knee by resting, and of course with rest comes gaining weight.
I think in the summer, the heaviest I saw myself on the scale was like 187.5, and that's when I thought I was like managing my weight well, but no.
But to get back to his season weight of 157, Claxton knows the drill when it comes to dieting.
Just cut out a lot of carbs, like no breads or like candy, soda. I don't really drink soda at all. I just try to up my intake on water. Try to drink like a gallon a day, really.
Of course, when it comes to Matt Claxton, he has pre-practice methods teammate Mike Mayon didn't exactly enjoy.
And it smells. What?
The overall goals of the team, on the other hand, are very much in sync. So in sync that Waynesburg secured their 3rd straight PAC title.
Especially win the PAC as a team. That was like a big goal that we set out for ourselves. First semester didn't look too good as a team, but second semester we really pulled our stuff together, and Friday night we brought home the PAC title.
The accolades have been there for most of Claxton's tenure at Waynesburg. One thing that Matt Claxton feels Waynesburg doesn't receive enough of: respect and recognition. He's hopeful that it comes their way in the future.
Hopefully we do, yes. I think we might get a little bit more just because it's a three-peat. And Jake going for a 2nd national title. But I always just feel like we're going to be kind of like the underdog of a lot of campuses, even though on Waynesburg's campus we're one of the best teams.
Even when the going gets tough like it was for Waynesburg last semester, you always have the people that make work worth showing up for. For Matt Claxton, that person is Gennaro Bonaventura.
I'm looking at him right now, Gennaro right there. Dude puts a smile on my face every day. You could just get your butt whooped one night, come back on practice on a Monday, on a cold, wet Monday. You really don't want to practice, you're tired, and G's in there screaming and yelling in your face. We love the guy.
Claxton is thankful for those cold, wet Mondays that he can still show up for. But it was never a doubt in his mind, even after suffering 2 season-ending injuries in his sophomore and junior seasons, that he would be back on the mat.
I felt like you only get to do this as much as you possibly can, so I felt, why not just keep doing it?
For Claxton, leading by example is the most important thing when it comes to bringing up the next batch of Woo Brawlers.
I think I do a lot of good things correctly and make it impactful for the freshmen. So they can look up and remember, hey, Matt Claxton did this right. I'll try to do it like him.
He's one of the biggest jokesters on the team, which I love the guy to death. I'd do anything for him, honestly, and he was a big role model for me coming into my first season on the wrestling team.
Everyone wants to go out on top at the end of it all, and for Claxton, his senior season will be his favorite part of the ride.
Definitely my senior year. Starting out rough, and then finishing it like a team like this year, definitely as your last ride. It's the best one.
personality and spontaneity of Claxton might be the thing that his teammates miss the most.
I think it's the way I carry myself and the way I look out on certain things. I think I have a very unique, different outlook on life. I'm covered in ridiculous tattoos. My favorite one is probably the UFO on my leg. I got that for my 21st birthday.
The inspiration for that one?
It's my birthday, and I have money in my pocket. I have about like 13 or 15 or something like that. It just feels like sandpaper on your skin at this point.
When Claxton graduates this spring, he wants to be remembered in a simple yet memorable way.
When I leave this program in a couple weeks, I want to be remembered as a guy who always came with a smile on his face. Could get his butt whooped in a match, but walk off, smile on his face, just be ready to learn always.
For WCTV News, I'm Sam Hickson reporting.
Welcome back to the Waynesburg Way. It's time to take a look at sophomore Andrea Orlowski. Alex Lyons has the story.
Throughout sports history, many players start their career at the same place, the bench, and the same can be said about Waynesburg sophomore Andrea Orlowski. Orlowski has gone from being one of the premier bench players on the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets basketball team to becoming one of the premier players on the team as a whole, and even in the entire President's Athletic Conference.
Yeah, I think actually, from last year, being a freshman and coming off the bench, so soon as I did, it actually just kind of showed me that I can play more, and, Coach does see something in me that, I do have this potential. So just coming into this year, I just knew that I shouldn't be afraid, I shouldn't be scared that I'm going to have a bigger role, so I just kind of used that to my advantage.
Obviously, she's our leading scorer, so we look to her for points. But she also she plays with a high motor. She plays really hard. She's a great kid. Never any issues off the court or anything like that. So she's just a joy to coach, and obviously she's got some talent. But I love her high motor. I love how hard she plays, and I love her dedication to our team and playing hard. I knew that once she had a chance to get more minutes, that the production, I didn't think it was going to be quite this high, but I knew that it was going to drastically go up from last year's.
Even though Orlowski has shown great improvement on the court, in her mind there's still a lot of work to be done.
So I think especially coming into college, I was not expecting to be a post really. So since I've kind of taken on more of the big man role, I'm always in practice, I'm always trying to improve on that and trying to make sure that even though I'm smaller, I can be tougher.
Sometimes she can see the floor a little bit better, but and be a little stronger. But I'd probably say that for just about any player that I coach. So she does a really good job for us. But yeah, just improving the all-around game.
Orlowski has not just grown as a player on the court, but as a leader off the court.
She definitely is a great leader by example as far as work ethic, how hard she plays, the fact that she plays that hard the entire game.
With still 2 years left in a Jacket uniform, Andrea Orlowski has a number of goals, both personal and for the team as a whole.
I think it'd be really cool to get 1,000 points here because I never did that in high school. So I think that would just show how much of an improvement that I made from high school coming to college is my biggest thing that I think I want to accomplish.
Between Orlowski's constant work ethic and drive to get better each and every day, one thing will stand true. Orlowski will be one of the best players in the President's Athletic Conference for years to come. This is Alex Lyons for WCTV.
Sometimes in life, you have to make that tough transition from one opportunity to the next. And for Jake Doherty, that was exactly what he did in this past year. He transitioned from the football field to the basketball court in what would be his final run with the Jackets as a senior on the basketball team.
This is John F. Wiley Stadium, home of the Waynesburg University football team. Doherty played both wide receiver and quarterback during his 4 years on the football team. And this is the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse, home of the Waynesburg University basketball team. Senior Jake Doherty has called both of these places home during his 4 years at Waynesburg. Doherty played on the football team all 4 years at Waynesburg and decided his senior year that he wanted to hit the hardwood and give college basketball a shot.
In high school, I played AAU and high school basketball, so I was always playing a ton of basketball in high school. Once I took 3 years off, in those 3 years, I just played a lot of pickup, but it was a little different than organized basketball for sure. So when I picked the basketball back up for the first time and I asked Coach if I could try out, and he allowed me the first practice, I was really overwhelmed because not only like being in shape for basketball is so much different than football, it's more of like an endurance rather than like short sprints.
Doherty was involved in both sports at a young age, with college football running in the family, and that's why he devoted his time to football. But senior year, he decided to give basketball one more shot.
Growing up, like you said, I played both sports. And, my dad actually played football at Clarion University, Division II, and I'm 15 minutes from Clarion, so it's kind of in the family. Our whole family played football. I have I think 9 boy cousins that all played football at the same high school, Red Bank Valley, so it was just in tradition. But basketball I kind of took up on my own because my mom taught me how to shoot a ball and whatnot. And growing up and in high school, it was really hard deciding, what I wanted to do in college because Coach Christian wanted me for basketball, Coach Shep wanted me for football. So I had to decide which one I liked more, and it came down to I ended up picking football because I thought maybe I had a better opportunity there, and I grew a good relationship with Coach Christian as well. I maintained contact with him, but in high school I probably liked basketball more, to be honest. But just going forward to college football, I always want to play college football and take after my dad, and that's kind of how I wanted to follow in his footsteps a little bit.
Head coach Mark Christner had always wanted Doherty to be a part of his team, and finally is getting to experience what Doherty brings to the team, just 3 years later than he had originally hoped.
We recruited Jake out of high school to come here to play basketball, and he decided to come here and play football. So it wasn't like a guy kind of coming off the street, and decided to play. We knew he could play. He hadn't played in 3 years competitively, and then when he decided to make the transition to basketball, we knew that I think over time in the year he would grow and learn to figure it out. He's competitive, he's energetic, he's pretty athletic on the wing for us, and so I think what he's brought to us is some toughness there. He's shooting about 45% I think from three-point land in the conference, so he brings another weapon to us offensively there, and he's athletic enough to guard some of the hybrid guys in our league a little bit, which allows us to switch and hopefully keep some guys in front. So it's been fun to have him.
During his time with the team, he has been able to apply his skills learned from the gridiron onto the hardwood.
Yeah, so football, like I said, is just really aggressive. It's very physical, and I feel like I just bring that aggressive attitude and the physicality to the hardwood, and I think that's how I help out the team the most. I'm very physical. I get 3 fouls a game for sure. I attack the boards pretty hard. I just try to stick to my roots and just still try to hustle, and I think I learned that from football.
Coach Christner loves what he has added to the team.
To have him back and to have him play this year is a pretty cool thing.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Waynesburg Way. Be sure to tune in next week as we highlight 3 more athletes from around Waynesburg University. Have a good night, everyone.